Okay, let's quickly go ahead and do the head. So once again, you make sure that you have deleted keys, which I haven't, by the way, on the spine. So make sure you're selecting all the spine joints, deleting the keyframes on it. The head, on the other hand, will have keyframes. So let me rotate it in the front and then rotate it in the back. And then that's the area that I'm going to start smoothing out. Okay, so let's select, we'll make sure that our symmetry is switched on. I'm going to go all the way up. Alright, that's the part that I want to smoothen out. These are the areas I'd like to smoothen out first. I would not press Alt S and smooth skins yet. I'm going to start out by making sure my neck and my head, by the way, are the only two unlocked joints. Separate them by pinning them and then go into my head and just start smoothing it, just so the smoothing happens only between these joints. I know we're not completely there yet. I know that we are still to get there. There you go. Let's go back into the paint mode, smooth it just a tad bit. And go back in here. So you see I'm just carefully selecting my vertices, making sure they look really nice. Now here is a part that we are going to be working on a little bit, the back side. The front side, on the other hand, still needs a little bit of work, if you will, because I don't quite like what's happening here. Let's see what happens if I smooth it. Not really working out, so I'm gonna manually fix it a little bit. Let's go ahead and assign that to the head, these little vertices. There you go. And now just select these two maybe. See what happens if I smooth them out just a little bit. That one right there. Yeah. This guy. Maybe a little more. Ideally, I would have liked to have another set of edges over there, which I don't have right now. But that's looking really nice, actually. I don't like what's going on here. I don't like the bulge that's coming out here. So that is something that I'm certainly going to be working on. So let's quickly fix that. Let's see what's going on. Ideally, I would like for this head to drop right here, which means these areas should be controlled by my neck entirely. That's not possible at all. So I'm going to have to compromise a little bit. What happens if I control that area with my neck? Nope, it's going to have to be smoothened out. So maybe the trick would be to, because I'm looking at these areas right here, and not you guys, and I want that part to be smoothened out a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. You see, it creates a nice little head over there. Much better, much better, much better. So just here too, just go ahead and smooth it up just a little bit. 1, 2. Yeah. Not bad, actually. Not bad for the head that we are trying to achieve. Ideally, the neck would move back a little bit when you look up so high. Ideally, when you do this, the neck would move down a little bit when you look down so much. So that's not bad at all. I'm going to call it done in that sense. Let's make sure we delete keys. We're also going to try and rotate it sideways to make sure that it looks good on both the fronts. And it's kind of fairly good, if you will. There are some issues over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There you go. And what happens if I Alt S it to smoothen it out? It looks really nice. So just smoothing those parts out. Now the mistakes that I'm making is working on the right hand side. I should ideally work on this side, on the character's left, so I can very easily mirror those joints. But that looks pretty good. Let me save that file. Let me delete the keyframe on my head, which looks fantastic. Okay, good. Time to work on the neck. Keyframe again. Keyframe in the front. Keyframe in the back. Now this part is certainly a little tricky, if you will. Make sure you're unlocking the neck, but I think what you also need is the clavicles. So let's unlock the left clavicle and the right clavicle, and we'll make sure that the clavicles and the neck are pretty much selected here. Oh, sorry. Let's go into the vertex mode again. By the way, shift period will help me increase my selection. Shift comma is going to help me decrease my selection. So every now and again I'll select a line of vertices and increase my selection, and then I can sort of smooth it out. So really I want this part to be smooth out and not you. So just those two lines. We'll see what happens when I smooth that out. So it's going to smooth and just start smoothing out. Actually, it looks pretty good. That's my neck. Make sure that we smooth him out a little bit too, just a little bit. Not you, certainly not you guys. So let me smooth that out again, just a little bit. And I think my neck is fairly close to getting done. I would like my neck to have more control over this, so I'm just, there you go, this part right here. And when it comes to these, I would like my neck to have some more smoothened weights. And that's it. That is going to be my neck, and my neck looks fairly good actually. Okay, go ahead and select the neck. I'm going to delete keys on it. By the way, if you've seen, I had to unlock the left and the right clavicle because portions of this area over here were under the influence of the right clavicle. The give and take of the relationship of the influences was happening between the neck and the right clavicle. Here it was the neck and the left clavicle. So I'm assuming your clavicle is still working fine, and see, it kind of is a little screwy over here because this part is now controlled by the left clavicle, and I'm not okay with that at all. So let me just go into the paint weights tool, lock the neck. So now I'm basically only dealing with the left clavicle and the right clavicle. Okay, I don't like the fact that the right clavicle has some influence on the left and the left clavicle has some influence on the right hand side. I do not like that. So let me just go into the front view, select all these vertices on the, oh, I forgot to switch off symmetry. So this is what happens when you have more than 2 joints unlocked. You have to be super careful about it. 3 joints were unlocked this time, and that's why there was some give and take between the left and the right clavicle, which was highly undesired. So here's what I'm going to do. Just go in here. I'm going to say replace 0. So value of 0 into my L clavicle means value of 1 into my right clavicle, because those are the only two. There you go. So now that's my right clavicle and my left clavicle. There you go. I'm only intended in fixing my left hand side, and now I should be able to mirror my skin width. I want to see what that looks like. Oh, that didn't fix it at all. Okay, well, that actually reverted it back to the settings we had. So I'm going to go back, left clavicle, flood, right clavicle. Oh no, that looks nice. Now let me go ahead and select the other side, something like that. For my left clavicle, I'm going to say value of 1. So right clavicle, left clavicle, not going into each other's business, which is pretty fantastic actually. All right. If I say mirror now, let me save this file. Let me try mirroring skin weights and see what happens. And that looks fairly symmetrical for now. We haven't done the clavicles, but for now, just making sure that the left hand side is not controlling the right. The left clavicle is not controlling the right hand side. The right clavicle is not controlling the left hand side. So that is that. I'm going to deal with the clavicles all the way in the end, but for now, I'm going to work on the shoulder. Well, you know what? Let's do the feet first, because the feet are incredibly easy to do. Let's start with this. In fact, a good idea for me would be to sort of ask you guys to do the feet, and I could show you guys what the arms and the fingers kind of look like. You can certainly look at my setup in the arms, and I'm going to sort of skip through the feet, but I'll certainly eventually have a file for you guys to look at with a complete smoothing of weights done, so you can look at it as a as an example first.